Hello! In this program I'm going to show you how I made this image. Now, this is done in two stages really. The first stage is how the image is captured with the camera and the setup and so on, and I'll go through all that. And then the second stage is how it's subsequently processed in Photoshop to make it look the way it does. Okay, so starting at the back like we usually do, here we have a Profoto D2 flash head. This is a mains powered flash head. It's about 1000 joules. That's going into this 2 foot by 2 foot softbox. This will form the background for the subject, which are these flowers. And then over here we have the camera. This is a full frame digital SLR with a 24 to 70 mm lens on it, and this is tethered into Capture One software. On the top of the camera we have this Profoto flash trigger so that we can trigger the flashes and also control them. Okay, so the next stage I think would be just to take a blank frame. We do this every time just to make sure that you don't get any contamination from the house lights, from the studio lights. So without any of the flash turned on, I'll just take an image and we'll just have a look on the monitor here, see what we can see. Virtually dark. There is a ghost of an image there. This is at f8, that could probably change. We'll see how we go. So what I'll do now is just turn the flash on at the background. So just turn the flash trigger on here, select that head and just turn it on. There we go. Give that a bit of a test. Yep, that seems to work. And I'll just do a test capture to see where we are with the exposure. Okay. This shows the concept of where we are at the moment. I'll just put the exposure warning on just to see. Yeah, that's a little overcooked. I think what I might do just to help with this is I'll zoom that in to 70 mm right now and just compose that image. Let's have a look through the viewfinder and focus. There we go. And I'll take off perhaps 2 stops of energy. There we go, and we'll just do another test. Okay. Oh, so that's very nearly there. Yeah. Okay. So, as far as the background lighting for this subject, that's about it really. It's fairly simple. What I want is a fairly uniform white background to the image, which is what this is giving me. So, in order to light the front of these flowers, I'm just going to use another flash head, this time with a strip box on it, just placed above the camera, just up here. So, I'll just get that in. There we are. This is another Profoto D2, this time with a 1 by 4 foot strip box on it. So if I just spin that round a bit like that, just open this up, take that up in the air a bit. Don't know quite how high I'm going to need to go. Probably a bit higher than that, but we'll see how we go. Let's pop that in there. There somewhere. I want to see how low I can get this without actually getting it in the shot. So I'll just check through the viewfinder here. That's not in the shot yet. That seems pretty good. Now obviously I've got this very close on purpose because I want to make sure that I get a nice soft light for these flowers, because I want the whole thing to be a soft image but sharp flowers. So we're going to have to play with the aperture a bit, I think, in order to get that. Okay, so with that more or less in place, I think we'll give it a bit of a test. So I'll just turn this one on and just turn the background off, and we'll just give that a test. And I think that's pretty good straight out the can, really. Right, so now I'll turn the background light on as well, and we'll give them both a go. Yes, that's looking quite nice, I think. I can possibly go down a little on this one. Let's take it down by half a stop to start with. Yes, that's a bit better, I think. We've got a bit better in here. Now, looking at this image, I think I want the main subject, which is going to be this bit, in focus, and the rest of it I want to throw out of focus. Now, the lens that I have on is a minimum aperture of 2.8, which I think is 3 stops. So we'll need to take 3 stops of energy off all these lights. So I'll do that first on this one, like that. Now just do this one, like that, and give that another go. Okay, so now we should be able to see that the exposure is more or less the same, but the focus is very different. Hope you can see that difference that we've made there, which is much more pleasant, I think. I'm just checking the focus point just to see if we've actually got it in the right place or not. It's not bad. It could do to move ever so slightly. And the other thing that I just want to check very quickly, actually, is just to see whether the ambient lighting is now affecting everything, because obviously we've opened up the aperture quite a lot. So first of all, I'll just turn off all the flashes. So, and we'll just take another test. So now, if I just make that full screen, yes, we're getting quite a lot of background interference there. So what I will do, just to minimize that, is just turn out all the house lights. In fact, instead of turning them out all the way, I'll just turn them down a bit. Try it like that. We've got some slight ghosting, but nothing too serious. I think that should work okay. Let me turn the flashes back on. Hopefully you can see enough in the video there so you can see what I'm doing. And we'll just do another test. There we go. Right, so that's all fine. What I think I will do is just adjust the focus point. Okay, so that looks like it's been focused a bit better. So for the image capture, that is more or less it. I will just take one more frame just to make sure that I've got the image. So we'll just do that from here, like so. Do a little check round, that looks all right. So we'll mark that one. Okay, so as far as capturing an image, that's it. What we're going to do now is move over into Photoshop and I'll show you how I processed it. Okay, so here we are in Photoshop. So I've just imported the image and we'll just have a little look around to see everything's okay. It all looks fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is just convert this from an RGB color space to a lab color space. Now once that is converted, I can then go down to the channels here, for instance, and then you have access to the lightness, the A channel and the B channel, which form the lab color space. And I'll come back to that in a second. First of all, I'm just going to duplicate that layer. There we are. So I'm actually going to work on this background copy, and we have the other background one underneath should we need it for anything. Okay, so on the background copy, I'll just go to channels. Now the lightness channel within the lab color space is the first one that we're going to play with. So just going up to image with the lightness channel selected, and I'll just go to adjustments and I'm just going to invert it. And now if I just bring in the rest of the colors again, you can see that it's starting to look like our finished image. Okay, just pop back to layers. Now there are various other things that you can do with this, one of the simple things would be to change the blending mode between the two layers that we've got here. So for instance, if I just run down these, you'll see some of the wild and wacky results that you can achieve with this, which can be interesting. That's quite an interesting one. Pin light we have there, and so on. For this exercise, I'm just going to leave it in normal, but you can see that, for instance, if you go to, which one was it, pin light or linear light? Yeah, this gives you quite a good abstract type image. But for this purpose, I'm just going to leave it in normal. Okay, so having got that, what I can do now is just go back to a relatively normal color space of RGB. Oops. Here we are. So mode, RGB color. No, I don't want to flatten it. There we go. Okay, so now if I go to channels, for instance, I will just have red, green and blue. So the next part of this image transformation would be to apply an adjustment to this layer. So I'll just add an adjustment layer of hue and saturation. So with this, I can increase the saturation like this, makes it a bit more vivid, or you can wipe out the color information completely and turn it into a black and white image. But I think I just want to increase the color saturation ever so slightly, somewhere around there. And with the hues, of course, you can wind your way around the color wheel. So as I change this way, I end up with a multitude of different colors. And back the other way. And this you can literally play with all day until you end up with something that you like. I quite like something around here actually, so I'm just going to leave it about there. Okay, now because that was done on a layer, with a layer mask attached, you can again edit that if you wish. So with the layer mask selected and with black selected as a colour, I can then just paint in the image and it will take it back to the underlying colour, like so. I'm just doing this relatively quickly. You could take a little more time, but you get the idea. And as with always when you're messing about with masks, should you make an error or you want to go backwards, all you need to do is go over and select white and then just paint that back. But I don't need to do that because I haven't made any glaring errors yet. Let's just take that bit out. There we go. There. Okay, so now the final thing that I want to do is just apply a bit of a crop to this image to tidy it up a bit. So we'll have a little look around. Yes, I think maybe a square crop might work quite well here. So if I pick square from the crop tool at the top here and just move that around a little to something like that, I might actually go in a bit tighter. There we are. Click on OK. And there we have it. So that is how I formed my sort of arty interpretation of these flowers. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you like these sort of things that are all done in a studio, then do click on the other options as they turn up, and obviously don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this one. Thank you very much.